Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about perfectionism and how it can be quite a paralysing thing to try and constantly chase this perfect vision, this perfect goal, and getting things exactly the way that you kind of see them in your head. Now I've done a few videos now about the idea of planning and my opinions on planning. This isn't so much about planning itself, this is more about embracing the moment and the kind of things that end up happening in the now, and embracing the right now as opposed to worrying about the past or worrying about the future. So as we go through life, we all have expectations of things that we want to try and achieve. Some of us will be trying to do, you know, certain things. Maybe we want to get a job in finance, maybe we want to write a novel, maybe we want to, you know, start painting, maybe, you know, we want to go traveling, and all these kind of various things. And they're things that, you know, you'll be lying in bed, be like, see, imperfections. You know, I can't wait to go on that thing. You know, I can't wait to do that thing. And you know, once that thing ends up coming, you ever been so excited for something and then it ends up happening and you end up a little bit disappointed by it, and you kind of go home afterwards and you sit down, you're like, you know, I did enjoy that. Yeah, it was all right, that. And you know, as time goes on, that immediate feeling of not particularly enjoying it will sort of dissipate, and you'll remember it as a happy memory, you know. And as time goes on, it will start to ingrain itself in your head as like a really fun thing you did. Like if you were planning to go traveling and then you went traveling, and then, you know, you went interrailing through Europe, or you drove across the United States, or whatever, you know, or you explored East Asia, you know, stuff like that, and then you got back, and, you know, once you get back, you're kind of like, oh yeah, I remember when I was in like Phuket and I had this really nice like weird broth soup sort of thing, and it was in this really nice sort of wooden kind of restaurant, and the service was so great. But, you know, you don't remember the little things in the moment, like, you know, getting bitten by ticks, or, you know, how overwhelmingly, like, sweaty you were the entire time because it's so hot. And, you know, you don't really remember the endless waiting at the airport. You don't remember, you know, staying up until 4 a.m. Just sitting on the floor in the corner with your 2 suitcases. Oh, God. Trying to stay awake because you know your flight is in an hour and a half, and if you fall asleep, there's a small chance that you might actually miss your flight and sleep straight through it. So you're trying to keep yourself awake. Maybe you go to the WH Smith that's just around the corner, and you get like Red Bull, and you don't normally drink Red Bull, but you go for it this time. And it's like, these aren't positive experiences, but they are necessary in order to create the ultimate positive experience, which is creating the memory, not even necessarily doing the thing that is the memory, and engaging with the memory in the present, but, you know, engaging in the memory as like you know, reminiscing about it, kind of going, oh yeah, you remember when we went down there and we had a really nice time, and, you know, oh, it was so brilliant, oh, it was wonderful, we went here and then we went here and we did this, and oh my God, and I've got all these really lovely photos, and you see the photos, and, you know, there's these wonderful vistas, these beautiful sunsets and sunrises that you would never get wherever you live. But, you know, the journey itself wasn't like brilliant all the way through. And I think that's a good metaphor for what I'm talking about, which is whatever it is that you're trying to do, the plan that you've kind of got, it's not necessarily going to work out, and things aren't going to go according to your favor. Things are going to go wrong. A lot of things are going to go wrong. Look at this. I sliced my finger open while I was, it's embarrassing, I was doing the washing up, and I was doing these knives, and I thought it was quite a blunt knife. I don't really use this knife, but I washed it, and it sliced my finger right open, so I've had to sort of put it in this makeshift cast. It's basically just medical tape with a bit of tissue paper on the inside. So, you know, I can't actually do anything with this in terms of, if I'm walking and I'm carrying the camera, I can't get my phone out and do a little bit of typing with just one hand. I physically can't do that anymore. So, you know, that's a little hurdle that you kind of come across, and you'll come across these hurdles like that train is really irritating me, but I think it helps with the metaphor of the imperfections coming through, and the fact that whatever it is that you're going through isn't perfect, and it's going to continue to be imperfect. And if you expect anything to become perfect, you will be sorely disappointed time and time and time again as you keep trying to create this ultimate perfect world that will never come around. And I think if you are trying to create something, or if you're trying to have an experience, you want to go traveling, you want to get a new job, all of these kind of things, you look so forward to them, and you engage with them in your mind, and you kind of sit there and you go, oh, it's going to be nice, it's going to be nice. And it still is nice when you get your dream job and you're doing the work, and you're a couple months in and you're still enjoying it, but you're starting to notice that that one co-worker is kind of irritating you, and your boss has made a couple sly remarks. But it's nothing concrete enough that you can really say like this is a bad thing yet. And as time goes on, it's not like I'm saying like suddenly your job will become a hellscape. I mean, it might possibly, but I'm saying what will end up happening is your dream job will stop being your dream job, and it'll just be your job like any other job. This is kind of why I don't want to turn like my music into a career, and I wouldn't mind turning the film side into a career. I kind of already have. But I don't want to turn my hobbies into jobs, because that can kind of suck the fun out of them. And, that's kind of actually getting away from my point, which is about perfectionism. And the sort of rambles and so on are part of what, imperfection is all about. Because when you sit and listen to someone that has something to say, and they haven't quite figured out how they're actually going to word it. I haven't figured out how I'm going to word my overall point. But I do kind of know the general steps that I need to take to get there. But I only see, it's like you're doing the stepping stones in Takeshi's Castle, but it's very foggy out. So you can only see one step ahead of you at a time. So you're kind of like, and then, oh God, oh, yeah, like that. And oh, that is really irritating, that. But it helps the metaphor so much, because you are going to get things like this. If you're out filming somewhere, there's going to be something that you're going to come across that is totally not what you planned. There's going to be something out there that is just totally against your original vision, and you're going to have to adapt to it. And if you're making a song, you're going to realize that solo that you had in your head doesn't actually work, even once you manage to figure it all out. You're painting, you might realize that you envisioned it in oils, but it turns out that maybe it needs to be done in like something else. If you go traveling, you might look at Google Street View of, Budapest and think, oh, that's such a lovely place to go, I want to go there. And then you go there and you think, oh, well, this isn't really as good as the other place that I went. I saw it on Google Maps, but now I'm here, I kind of look around and I'm like, okay. And it's all right, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly what I wanted. So I think going through life trying to get what you want is the wrong way of going about it. You should go through life constantly adjusting what you want to your circumstances, and make what you want what you already have. And I think to sort of close this off, I think if you are someone that is kind of worrying about the future, and is worrying about your place in the world, and is worrying about where you're going to go and what you're going to do and how to make the most fulfilling life possible, you're doing it kind of wrong. It's not about the future. Just as much as you can live in the past. You ever met someone who like never got over their ex, or you meet someone that is like, all their stories are from like 10, 15 years ago, and they're clearly past their prime and they're living in the past, You can just as easily live in the future, and you can constantly, live in these plans that never come to fruition. You can constantly live in these dreamscapes of what you want to do once you're in a position where you have the capacity to actually do it, once you have the money, once you have the resources, once you have enough experience in the field, once maybe you want to go to like, I don't know, some mad country like Kazakhstan, but you feel like that's a very like tough first step. I'm going to go to somewhere like Croatia first to kind of warm me up, So you kind of just do what you can, and you adjust what you want to what you are already able to have. I mean, my wants are always pretty basic. I'm not someone that likes to get the, takeaway pizza or anything like that, which costs like £17.99 for like a Domino's or whatever. It's like, that's ridiculous. I can go to Lidl and I can get a similar kind of pizza for £2.25, and I prefer that pizza, I'm going to be honest. It's not that I'll say no to a nice Domino's or a Papa John's or whatever. It's nice to try those things, especially like if you're out with friends and stuff, and like you're at someone's house and they get a delivery in. You know, it's like nice to split, like chip in like a 5 or a 10 and have a few slices, you know. That's quite nice. But again, it's about what you can do with what you have and the resources that are within your grasp to make what you want come to fruition with what you have available, rather than to dream of what you want, which you can never have. Because if you start doing that, that becomes materialism in the long run, and you end up becoming this materialistic person who is obsessed with getting the latest, greatest thing. And you feel like you can never be happy until you have this thing, and then you get that thing, and then there's another thing that you want to get, and then you get that, and then there's another thing you want to get after that, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And it's a constant, it's an endless, infinite road that never gets complete. You will never find all the possessions in the world that will make you happy. And at the same time, if you just look for within, and you don't engage with the world around you, you'll never find what's happy out there either. Because if you sit and philosophize about everything constantly, you're never going to actually be able to put these philosophies into practice. I quite like looking into like little bits of philosophy. I'm certainly no expert. I don't know jack about any of it really. But it's nice to look up a little bit about Stoicism, hedonism, and like, you know, utilitarianism, and sort of see like, because they all have good sides, bad sides, things that are useful, things that aren't useful, things that I can apply to my own life, and you know, some things that aren't so useful or might be quite outdated, and it's kind of nice to put them all together and see what you can kind of come out with it, if you can come up with some good conclusion about where we are and what we're doing. But yeah, I think ultimately, don't worry so much about it, don't worry about, you know, the future, and don't worry about the past either. Live in the now. And I know that is such a difficult thing, and it's such a vague thing that you're told time and time and time again. You'll see these inspirational things where they go, "Ooh, you have to live in the present. Ooh, you just need to be happy. Oh, if you're just happy, everything will sort out. Oh, you're depressed. Oh, you know, it doesn't matter. Just, you know, smile like that." You know, I feel like that came from a place of experience. Watching some of these videos that they kind of, you know, they just assume that you can just block off all your problems and all your imperfections and create this perfect world for yourself, when you can't. All you can do is embrace the imperfections and embrace the fact that everything is not going to go completely according to plan. Some things will go catastrophically wrong, and that will hurt. I'm not saying that, you know, I don't know, the worst thing that could happen to you, if you get kicked out of your house and you end up living on the street and you've got to find somewhere new to live, you're living out of your car. I'm not saying that's something that you should cheer on, but it's just something that you can sort of, you know, use as a stepping stone to get to the next point. Hey, yo, Oscar, how you doing, man?
Hey, man.
This is Oscar. He's going to be playing the character of Oliver, and I think on that's a good example of imperfections, because that's literally just life going on right there. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I hate that fucking saying. All right, take care, man. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.